What's up, guys? This is Matt with Flagstaff Camera and Hidden Light, and welcome back to another old news segment, video, thing. Today we're going to talk a little bit about what's been going on in the photo world, and I'm going to show you a little bit of what I've been up to out in the real world, and then we'll answer a couple of questions if I can find any. So let's just jump right into old news. This is actually not that old. It's only like, whatever, 10 days old or 2 weeks old, or depends on when you're watching this. It could be years old, I guess. Joey L., who's like a total badass, started really young in photography and has been hanging out all over the world doing amazing stuff. He is back to releasing videos, or has at least released a video. It's him hanging out in Ethiopia and doing some awesome photography. He's on a boat with a phase 1, like you do. I think it's the big crazy sensor probably. Anyway, Joey L is a phenomenal photographer, and his videos always really like put you in the moment. If you haven't checked out his work, check it out. He also dropped a new collection of images, which is stunning. And I think he's doing the NFT thing, which I'm not super about personally, but whatever works. You know, he does a great job. This is amazing. What I wouldn't give, to go hang out with Joey L and make photographs, or even just watch the dude do his thing. So super cool. Similarly, our friend of the channel, Mike Gray, has stepped up in a big way and is shooting 8x10 now. He and I have been chatting a little bit because I'm getting into 8x10 this year as well, and he's got this conceptual, like super cinematic video that he did of him shooting this redonkulous Deerdorf, making this super conceptual photograph. And it's beautiful. And the video itself is a huge step up from what Mike has been doing. It's extremely well executed. Just gorgeous work. We're hoping to have Mike actually here soon to start making some platinum work. So maybe we'll be able to, hang out with him and do an interview or do a video or do some lab time with Mike at some point in the near future. Anyway, that's super cool. Check that one out. All the links are in the link place where links go. This was amusing to me. Petapixel, one of the favorite. It's actually my homepage, if you can believe that. Just so I can see like what's going on. Most of it's digital related. This is digital related. How many megapixels do you actually need? And it talks about what resolution is, and then it comes to the viewing distance conundrum, which it gives you a mathematical formula. It's very complicated. It's not complicated to figure out how much resolution you need in order to get an image that looks good, or at least looks good like to the point where you can't resolve the difference standing at the correct viewing distance. If that makes any sense. I thought it was very interesting. I've talked with a lot of people. We get a lot of questions. How big can you make my picture? It's like, well, ask not how big your picture should be. Ask how big it could possibly go. That's what everybody sort of does. Like, oh, can I make this 90 inches? Yeah. Is it going to look good? No. But if you're standing 20 feet away from something that's been blown up like that, yeah, it might look fine. You only have to print it at like, whatever, 50 ppi to make that a thing. So, I don't know. This was an interesting article talking about resolution, specifically as it applies to prints, which a lot of photographers I know don't bother with prints. I'm a print nerd. I thought that was very interesting. Good job, Petapixel. And so then we've got our buddy also, Ted Forbes, friend of the channel. I met Ted, oh man, back when he was doing the artist series with David Brookover. And he's been doing, less of the photography like challenges and whatever, and more of the like checking out bitchin' gear that comes out, which, you know what, good for Ted, whatever works. He's reviewing this Leica M11. He's a Leica man. A Leica man knows quality gear. He got invited to go hang out with Leica and reviewing this M11. And if you're into that sort of thing, good. As far as I'm concerned, the M6 was the best Leica ever made because it was film and it's gorgeous and it's so easy to shoot, and the meter is the best meter of any camera ever because it's so simple. It's just yes, no, maybe. It's so good. So love that. Good for you, Ted. Ted says why you will want this camera. It's, I don't know, it's pretty, makes pictures. And then Ted tells us all the words about it. So love that, hang out with Ted. Sorry I paused in a bad place, Ted. And then following up on that very appropriately, it's okay not to own the latest gear, especially if you're into analog, because there is no latest gear for analog photography. I don't know how many film cameras are still made today, especially smaller format cameras. Like, okay, I think you can still buy a brand new Hasselblad. You could probably still buy a brand new M6. You can still buy the F6 and whatever Canon's version is. Sorry, I'm not a Canon guy. Is that it? What? I mean, 35mm, that might be it. Even 120, I don't know. Now, large format cameras, you get like the Intrepids, you get Chamonix, you get all kinds of these awesome brands that make proper size cameras. But there's no such thing as latest camera gear for film anymore, which I kind of like, because you can just get what you have, stop buying gear, focus on making photographs, which I think is really nice. So this guy, I mean, this is all, mostly about digital use and like, strobes and stuff like that. I'm personally about owning gear and just beating the crap out of it until it don't work no mo. And then either get the shutter replaced or get a new one if you have to, or get something similar, or get the, the slightly smaller version or whatever. But I don't know, I just generally am not about chasing down the most expensive crazy gear. Petapixel did it was the Darkroom Lab, I think is their Instagram handle, something like that. They did a review between the $2,000 Contax G2 and a $200 Canon T2 with a kit lens. And the Canon T2's photographs were better in every example. They were sharper, cleaner. You don't need the new fancy expensive Instagram version. You just need the regular camera that gets the job done that you can take pictures with. Anyway, so I'm super about this. Old gear is not bad gear. I'm an old gear guy. All the cameras I own are used. I haven't bought a new camera in ages. And I like it that way. The one exception, probably... Actually, no. I don't even buy my digital gear used, or new. I buy it all used. Because you can save, 20% buying something that someone, bought and then barely used and then decided wasn't for them. It's better that way, right? Anyway, that is old news, and we don't care anymore about that because that's all I could find on the internet that was worth talking about. Now, instead of lab time, because I didn't film anything in the lab this week, let's do adventure time, and you can tell me which you prefer, lab time or adventure time. This is me sort of vlogging my recent trip to the Grand Canyon. So ready, go. Oh, hi there. Good morning. Today is going to be a photography day, an adventure day. Going to the Grand Canyon today. I don't get up there maybe once a quarter or so I get up there, and usually never in the winter. And it's winter now. I was originally hoping to have a complete 8x10 kit by now, but I don't. There's someone who does CLAs who will remain unnamed, has had a lens of mine for 8 weeks and just won't ship it back, or hasn't shipped it back, or who knows what the circumstances are. So I divested this bag of all my 8x10 crap, and I'm giving it my little baby 4x5 speed graphic kit. And we're going to shoot some Arista 400 today. I was able to load up everything that was left in this box except for one sheet. And then I ran out of holders, which is fine. Arista 400 is a cheap sort of student film that a lot of people use as testing or just dicking around, whatever. I like it. It's a little grainy, it's a little chunky. Pull it down to 200 if you got a lot of bright sun. So... packing up the old camera bag here, which this should be hilarious because this camera bag is older than I am, and load up the truck, go to the Grand Canyon, do a little hiking, get a little outdoors time today, which can be difficult in the winter. Sometimes you just want to curl up on the couch and read a book, And I'm not gonna do that today. I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna hike, I'm gonna take pictures. First, I gotta find a tripod that will mount onto this camera and that I have a head for and that I can use. So I'll go figure that out and then we'll load up the truck and go. Okay. That's all the stuff I should need, hopefully. Plus some extras, probably. I got cameras, I got snack bars. Should be set. Let's go to the Grand Canyon. Just saw something real cool looking. So we gotta turn around. Just driving along, minding my own business. And then like, bam! Oh my God, I gotta stop, that's too cool. We're just gonna pull off the side of the road right here. Nobody's ever gonna know. Gonna grab the old sketching camera to sketch out some pictures of this frickin' epic firescape. This is just totally nuts. With this one tree in the middle, with all this texture. Cool. Got the old digital out. Let's just see what we see. Too cool on the wide angle. That is just epic looking. Might be a little busy in black and white. Hard to tell. Got myself a composition that I mostly like. So just gonna load up a quick sheet here and hopefully do this without knocking over the tripod. I'm not on here real good. Neither is the GoPro. Okay, good. Make sure we cock the shutter here. Just test. Good. Cock, shutter's closed. Got my shutter speed dialed in, which is the fastest this poor camera will go. 200th of a second. Okay, I don't have a release. Oh, so quiet. I love it when it's quiet. Put that back in there, lock it in. I'm probably just gonna call that good for now. I know where this tree is. The light's okay, but dealing with this fence is not the best. So, since I haven't written anything down and it's cold, my fingers are cold. That was 200th of a second at f8 on 400 speed film. I have essentially no bellows out on this little baby camera, so that's not a factor. So yeah, that was definitely overexposed, but that's fine. It's gonna be great. Fun little side trip. Now we'll take all this crap. Oh man, large format's heavy. Who thought this was a good idea? Huh? Oh God. Guys, I'm so graceful. At least I get to feel like a badass carrying a camera like this. And back up to the old automobile. And off we go. Welcome to the town of Valley, Arizona, V-A-L-L-E. If you can call it a town. The only turn on the entire trip. On the left is the dinosaur slash bedrock city slash birds of prey slash RV campground. And then it's a straight shot for 23 miles to the Grand Canyon. Switched into my hiking boots. Hiking boots is always a good idea when you're hiking through snow. I've got my spikes in case the terrain wants to knock me over. I gotta see if this bag is robust enough to hold this tripod. You know how photo bags have that thing on the bottom where you can put your tripod on? Given the age of this bag, let's just say I'm not confident. Not confident at all. Keys, phone, wallet. Okay. So I've got myself a nice little composition set up after wandering around for about 10 minutes. Right over here on the edge. So Mom, if you're watching this, I'm sorry. Sorry, not sorry. Got this great little shot. As I was wandering around, I kept looking for a tree or like some sort of subject. And so there's this guy right over here. Don't you love my fingerless gloves? Got him kind of set up in a way that looks really good. Shot one at the same settings I was using earlier, which is 200th of a second at f8. And then I'm going to do a couple more frames that I'm going to pull the film from 400 down to something like 100 and see how that does. And I'm taking notes in my phone right now. I forgot to bring like a notebook or anything useful to write down what I'm doing. But here I am crouching, working on the camera. That's the edge of my arm's reach there. And there's the inside of the canyon. Just absolutely gorgeous. I'll tell you what, there's nothing quite like being able to walk on this nasty snow ice pack and not be even a little worried about falling or misplacing my feet. These are the micro spikes or whatever. Whoa, that's the real deal. I'm nearly back to the car. Pull off these boots, put the camera gear away, probably have a little snack, a little water, and cruise on out. You know, it's funny, I thought I was drastically over preparing with my layers, hoodie, beanie, gloves, micro spikes, and it turns out I was just preparing, not drastically over preparing. Well, I'd say that went rather well. Met some fun people, had a lovely walk, took some pictures. But I'm out of coffee, and that is a tragedy. Someone sound the Peter McKinnon alarm. I thought it was funny. All right, off we go. Okay, so that was fun. Grand Canyon is cool. I definitely ruined most of that film. Not while I was shooting. My exposures actually were quite good. My compositions, I think, are pretty good. I got one good print. We'll put a photo in platinum. It was okay, but I managed to fog all my film between unloading it from the holders and getting it developed. It's my fault. Idiot mistake. I'm not going to do that anymore. Now I'm just going to take my film holders directly to Taylor, who runs all the film here, and he will save me from myself. So thanks, Taylor, for being able to do that. I have more Adventure Time stuff that I could put in this. Terrible vlogs, essentially. Let me know if that's something you're into, you want to see and or participate in. You know, Corona is kind of weird, but maybe we can all, like, hang out sometime. Maybe not all of us. Maybe some of us. Maybe I'll just do like an invite sometime and we can all photo walk somewhere. I don't know. Thoughts? Time for some FAQ. FAQ. I don't have a whole lot of new questions because we still haven't posted the first version of this video. So, you know, we'll get there. But this guy, AO, whose name I still don't know, haven't bothered to learn, sorry, asks really good questions. So keep it up, bro. I'm stoked to have you. Thank you for participating. And if you aren't participating by leaving comments in the comment section where comments go, you should comment and tell me that you don't like to do that. I don't know. Just hang out. He says, if an average 35mm film can resolve between 10 and 12 megapixels, Kodak says it was 6, what's the point of scanning larger than 4,000 pixels on the long side? 1, because we can. 2, because you can crop and whatever. Like, honestly, I haven't run the numbers on this to figure out what grain level resolution is. I know there are photo nerds and pixel peepers out there who have done this. My general theory is scan it big, scan it once, never have to worry about it again. So that's why I'm scanning all of my 35 and 120 at 61 megapixels per frame. And I'm going to scan all my 4x5 and 8x10 as ridiculous pixel stitch 200 megapixel monstrosities, because then I never have to worry about it. What I am planning to do at some point, now that I'm shooting big film like a big boy, is do a comparison between a Sony pixel stitch from the A7R4 and a drum scan, just for shits and giggles. I've never seen that comparison before, and I'm very curious to do it. And I know a guy, and he knows who he is, who does drum scanning. So that might be interesting. Oh, here's one. Okay. So in our how to frame your work video, which is over there somewhere, I specified a preference for real wood, right? Pine or hardwood. And somebody asked, who cares if it's MDF or pine or plastic, whatever. MDF is okay. It's like wood pulp and glue and wax, which is fine as long as it's sealed really well. Eventually, I'm not sure if you've ever had like MDF cabinets or you've ever bought a thing from IKEA and tried to put a screw into it. I think IKEA is like the leading consumer of MDF on earth. But basically, MDF will degrade over time, and it's not really solid wood, right? It's like particles of wood. So if you try and put screws in it, say like we use wire hangers on most of our picture frames, you put a screw in, that screw is more likely to pull itself out of MDF than it is out of like a proper wood. You're also more likely to get weird shit, weird bad things off-gassing from MDF because there's a bunch of chemicals and stuff in it, where pine, if it's treated correctly, is just mostly wood. So you don't have to worry about that. And then hardwoods, obviously, you don't have to worry about any of that stuff. Hardwood will hold a screw for forever. It'll last a long time. It'll look really good. It won't fade, etc. They will age, like cherry and stuff. You can get them to age from one color to another color over time, and that's a feature. Whereas with like a veneer over MDF, you won't get that. This person also asked, what's the point of having museum grade glass if you're just gonna like put something in a dark hallway? It's all about how much you want to invest in your work and how long you want it to last. Sure, it's in a dark hallway now. If you move houses or decide you want to move the art, which I highly recommend, rotating your art throughout the house keeps things fresh and interesting. You know, yeah, you can save a little bit of money, or you can just get it done right once and never have to worry about it again. Kind of like with the scans, that's my general thing. Put the museum glass on it, put the, archival grade everything, use real wood, and then never have to care about where it goes. Never have to worry about when you move or whatever, do you have to get something reframed, because that's a huge pain and it's more expensive than it needs to be. You'll typically spend more money reframing a piece or even just getting the glass replaced than you would if you had just got the good stuff to begin with. So that's generally my idea of it. Those are all the questions I have. I got nothing else. If you have questions, leave them in the comments section below. Just put a FAQ, whatever, so we see it. And we'd love to answer your questions. Keep your eyes out for a fun, interesting video. Very short, but not a short. Hashtag shorts. We're looking for people to sponsor with free film development. So if you want to be one of those people, find that video, which may or may not happen in a card over here, and see what the answer is. Maybe it'll be you. Anyway, see you in the next one, I guess.